everyone, Sophia here in San Francisco at GDC. I'm joined by American McGee, creative director on Alice Madness Returns. Hey, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Sophia. Good to see you again.
Now, tell us about Alice Madness Returns.
Well, so it's a PC, PS3, and 360 game that's coming out on June 14th of this year, and it returns to the character of Alice that we presented in the first Alice game 11 years ago, and of course brings back a lot of the characters everyone knows, classic platform gameplay, a lot of action, and of course a lot of beautiful art and story.
So you have a new demo showing here today. Could you tell us a little bit about the demo and what you guys are showing off?
Well, so the demo is pretty cool because we're actually going back to a domain that Alice visited in the first game. This is actually central to how we're bringing new players, people who've never experienced the first game, into the second story. So this is the Queen of Hearts domain, Queensland, and as Alice travels through that, she's going to actually see a lot of the damage that she wrought upon that domain the first time around. And of course, it's showing off a lot of the classic gameplay mechanics like the puzzling, the platforming, and the combat, but it also has a sort of what we call a domain-specific ability, which is a giant Alice. So she eats a bit of cake and then gets to stomp around and smash card guards.
Sounds cool. Now, can you go into a little more detail about the gameplay mechanics in the second Alice?
So one of the things that we heard after 10 years of listening to consumers talk about the first game was that the gameplay itself was quite flat. It was very much a kind of hack and slash, and it also had a difficulty curve that kind of ramped and then got almost impossible towards the end. So one of the things we wanted to do with the combat and the gameplay was to put a lot more variety in there, especially in terms of the combat that you have against the NPCs. We've done something where each NPC is almost a puzzle unto itself. So using a variety of weapons that she has at her disposal, you've got to kind of find the rhythm and the timing and the right combination of the weapons in order to defeat each new NPC that you meet. And then beyond that, there's a lot of different interesting upgrades and abilities that she's going to get throughout the game. And we've also gone in and made sure that the difficulty curve throughout the game, whether you're a novice sort of casual player, you're a high-end kind of hardcore guy, that's going to be there where it's flat and everybody can kind of play through the end of the game.
Okay, sounds good. And now, what kind of enemies should we be expecting? More of the same? Do we have new variety?
Well, one of the great things about the fiction is there's so much variety in it. And that's one of the things we're really kind of pushing as the big key selling point, is the variety between the domains, the variety in the weapons, the variety in the puzzles, the variety in the gameplay itself, and then of course the variety in the NPCs. So, the books have just a really crazy array of very interesting characters. We've taken all the characters out of the first game that everybody knows and love. We've combined those with things from the book, and we've also created a new set of characters on top of that. So as you move through the game, you'll notice that every new domain has its own new set of characters. There's one constant NPC that you're always going to encounter, but literally every hour in the game you get a new weapon, you get a new upgrade, you get a whole new set of enemies to fight against. So it's a really fun experience in terms of the characters.
Now, Alice is being praised for its distinct look. Now, how did you approach the art direction in this one?
Well, as with the first game, it was a lot of energy and a lot of thought went into presentation of art and, of course, presentation of story. We're using the Unreal 3 engine, so one of the things we had to work really hard to do was kind of get away from that plasticky look. So our art guys spent quite a lot of time to try to get a handmade, sort of almost miniature look to a lot of the assets in the game, and to really push the envelope in terms of how the game was going to look on screen. And judging from the response so far, everybody really likes how it's come out.
So when's the game coming out and on what platform?
So the game will get released June 14th of 2011, and it's going to be for PC, PS3, and 360.
Great. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Sophia.